Hello, everybody. Welcome. Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Juicy Talk, where we keep it real about relationships, love, and life. Today, we're going to be talking about something that affects a lot of different women, and that is perimenopause. We're going to have an open and very candid conversation. We have a special guest Chastity Wells with us, Chastity A. Wells with us today. And we're so super excited about it. And whether you are a woman that's going through menopause or you have a partner that you love and you're a male and you have a partner that's going through it, this is the show for you so that we can openly talk about and you'll know how to support your partner in that process. What's going on? I feel like my lips are extra glossy.
A little bit. I should put something on my lips. My lips look dry.
No,
Damn.
you good.
They look dry.
You good. You good. So we got so much in store for you. This is like a show that I'm really passionate about. I'm going to give people a little bit of time to come into the chat, but we're super excited about today's show, and we got some wonderful clips for you. But this is a conversation.
My bad. Shout out to Purple Rain.
That was so random.
I know.
That was like
You should
so
know that about
random.
me. You should know that about
I
me.
do know that
You know
about
that.
you. I do. So super excited about today's show. Super excited to share with you guys and have our guest speaker come on and talk to you guys. And I just want to give you a little background and just to let you guys know a little bit about the person that's coming on today. Her name is Chasity A. Wells. She is a U.S. Navy veteran, a licensed insurance agent for over a decade. She has lots of experience in the powerhouse behind protecting families. Chastity specializes in helping families, seniors, and business owners protect their legacy through life insurance, annuities, and employee benefits. Chastity is a proud mom and a passionate advocate for empowering women to create wealth and security on their own terms. Yes, that's awesome. I'm so excited for her to come on. But before we bring her, I just wanted to talk to you guys about where this whole conversation came about and my own story, my own personal story. So, is my mic too far away, producer? Okay, because I can be loud, so I got to make sure. So, perimenopause, right? And for you guys that don't know, perimenopause is the stage in life where your estrogen levels begin to drop off. It usually happens around 35 years. So it's like a 15-year period that you can go through perimenopause. And for some women it's even longer, but it starts around anywhere between 35 and 40. And I am smack in the middle of perimenopause. And I felt like I was losing my mind. I started being forgetful. I thought I was having like dementia. I couldn't remember certain things like my password that I use every single day. I just felt cloudy and just unhinged, very emotional. And I just couldn't seem to get it together. I was tired. I was suffering with fatigue. And I didn't have like your normal, like hot flashes that a lot of people have that would instantly let you know, like, oh gosh, I'm going through perimenopause, right? But I have this friend, shout out to Mickey, that had shared with me previously about her journey. And she was like, hey, I was watching this show about perimenopause, and you need to watch it. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. And so I went and I watched this show, and I was like, oh my God, this is what's been going on in my life. And I had no clue that this was, hey, Kim, I had no clue that this was what was really going on. So I went to the doctor. And when I went to the doctor, they test my levels. And sure enough, they tested my estrogen levels. And sure enough, they told me, hey, you're in perimenopause. And it just started making sense to me why I was going through this situation because Like I said, I was tired, I was angry, I was irritable, I was very short-tempered. I was very short-tempered, and I just felt myself like really agitated and I just couldn't get it together. And so then I called, I started calling my friends because I was like, hey, I want my friends to know about this because I wanted to find out if I was the only person that was going through this situation where I felt like I was actually losing my mind. I went through a breakup during this time. I just was going through. I mean, it was crazy. And we're going to get into more detail of that. But at that time, when I went through, I called my friend, Chasity A. Wells, and we started to have a conversation. I'm going to bring her in. But before I bring her in, I want to play this clip for you, my first clip. So take a look.
What age group typically is perimenopause?
So around age 35
Yeah.
up to, I think they say now the average age of menopause is 52 years old.
Okay.
So what's happening in that 15 to 17 year span is you're having such a change in the ratio of estrogen and progesterone. Early days, a lot of it appears as I'm not adapting to my training. It's not working well. I'm putting on more body fat. I'm becoming squishy. I'm not sleeping well. I'm having lots of mood changes. How can we dial it in? We look at menstrual cycles and is it becoming shorter or longer? What's our bleed phase? When we get into our mid to late 40s, it's very apparent because there are a lot of different changes that are occurring. We're seeing a change in our blood lipids. There's an increase in our low density lipoprotein, which is the quote bad cholesterol. Even if a woman's never had an issue with it, now all of a sudden she's having issues with her cholesterol. So people will start seeing this and going, I don't understand what's going on. Over the past 6 months, I put on 10 pounds or I put on 4 stone, right? What's going on? My training's not working. Become very despondent. And if they don't know they're in perimenopause, then they don't know that that's what's happening.
Hello. So, hey,
What's up,
there's my
Chasity?
friend. Hello, Chasity A. Wells. Thank you, Chas, for coming on the show. And before it showed, the clip showed, it was talking about just how many women go through perimenopause and have no clue. Before I found out about it, before somebody shared it with me, I had no clue what was going on in my life. You know, I just thought I was losing my mind. And I just felt unhinged and could not understand why. Um, so I called you on the phone, like, hey, girl, let me tell you what I just found out about. And if you don't mind sharing, like, when we got on the phone with each other, what it was like.
Absolutely, absolutely. So again, Juicy, thank you so much. Thank you, Mr. Hardy, for allowing me up as a guest on you guys' show to share something that is so personal, right? I am attempting to go live as well so I can share it out as well. So, however, so I remember you giving me a phone call, Juicy, and you was asking me, he was like, yo, have you started like perimenopause? And I was like, wait, no. Like, why would I like no? Because honestly, I think what most of us hear a lot of times when people say perimenopause, I think what most of us hear is just the word menopause. So I'm like, girl, hell no, I ain't started that. And so that's when you dug a little deeper. I appreciate the Gemini and you digging a little deeper. He was like, wait, are you sure? Like, are you experiencing brain fog? Are you experiencing this? Are you experiencing that? And I was like, no. But then as we sat in silence for a second, my spirit hit me. And then I thought about all the supplements I've been taking and the fact that I got like this little round pooch that I've been fighting at. And I was like, you know what, Juicy, like, yeah, you know what? Let me detox for like 48 to 72 hours. Let me stop taking all these herbs and all this stuff that I'm taking, and I'll get back with you. Listen, Mr. Hardy, it wasn't even 48 hours later that I woke up and I didn't take those diet pills and all that stuff I was taking. I felt like the damn Tin Man getting out the bed. Like I literally did. I felt like the Tin Man. I was so tired. I was like getting up. I was like, I'm not working out today. Like I am tired. So I thought back what Juicy said. And so then I reached back out to her and I was like, yo, I think maybe my body is going through something. And so I'm going to be honest with all of y'all. I still wasn't giving in to the mindset of it. So I double checked the calendar. I wanted to make sure I was not ovulating. I was not getting ready for my menstrual cycle or anything else like that, because women know, our estrogen levels, we ebb and flow all the time. So I wanted to make sure that it wasn't anything else, that I was giving all of this to. However, after we had an opportunity to talk about it a little bit more, yeah, I learned a whole bunch. So we're going to dive into that. I don't want to.
Girl.
I just know after I stopped with the diet pills, I stopped with all the extra. Because I was like, yeah, I do be taking a lot of stuff to get going in the morning. That meditation that normally take me just 30 minutes, now it's like a whole hour now. Because, yeah, your girl be, yo. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So one of the things that was like, so when I found out this is what I was doing, I started doing all this research. I started looking into a lot of different YouTubes, a lot of profound women who study this, and what I found out is that it's not a lot of data. Oh, I think that you went mute, Chaz. Oh, yeah, it's not a lot of data out here on perimenopause. And I was like, wow, it's so many women suffering in silence. And just for you guys to know, 85% of women are in the beginning stages of perimenopause. And 40% of you go through perimenopause. So there's 3 different stages. There's perimenopause, menopause, and then there's postmenopause. So 40% of a woman's life is spent going through these different stages of menopause, right? And I was just so flabbergasted by how many women are actually suffering in silence. I mean, like the mental health aspect of what you go through, being stressed out, being feeling like you're losing your mind. And a lot of times, just until recently, a lot of doctors, which in the healthcare field, to a certain extent is very male dominant. And a lot of times what they were doing is they were saying, oh, we got the whiny woman coming in here. She must be depressed. She's not happy with her life. All women are crazy. Let's put them on antidepressants. In reality, it's the hormone plunge that she's in the middle of going through. And we suffer in silence because we don't know. It's insane.
Yeah, no, 100%. It definitely is insane. And one thing I can just say, and I'm very grateful for this conversation. And even as I shared it out in different platforms, just getting people really to understand and talk about it a little bit more. Unfortunately, with us being Gen X, right, we come from baby boomers, and them ninjas don't talk about anything. They act like they just went from fertile myrtle to hello, I got gray hair and I'm your grandma now. And it's like, nah, but it's like this smooth transition, It's like, because when we think about it, because we are both girl moms, right? And we prepare our daughters for the big day of, when you began menstruation. Like, I remember with my daughter, I made like a whole little cute toolkit and this and that. And the day that her cycle actually began, Hardy, this is really a thing. So you definitely can chime in anywhere. But yeah, so even the first day of her menses, I was so happy for her that I took her out for ice cream and chocolate cake, right? And it's to celebrate her into her womanhood. Come on, Kim. Right, it is different stages. So it's like the same way that we celebrate entering womanhood, it's not that we're exiting it, but it is a more mature level of it. And I think more awareness needs to be around it. However, being in the industry, okay, Tracy. So as we are transitioning to a different stage of our life, right? I think it's to really be celebrated because in the medical industry, they are used to only doing studies on Caucasian men, not women, Caucasian men. So even for myself as a veteran, I went to the VA and guess how they treated me? Tough it out. You're fine. Well, we need to give you some antidepressants. Hell nah. I don't feel depressed. I mean, I have my moments of cloud, but like, no, right? And
Yeah.
yeah, so I had to actually ask for to be seen by a civilian. So I just want to shout out to people that are in the military. Like, we're not seen in the military at all. I even saw a Nigerian doctor in the military, and she was like, listen, the studies haven't been done here in the military. It is white men this is where the data comes from. I said, well, you know what? Put me out to community care because I need to be seen and I need to be heard. Because what y'all not gonna do is make it seem like this is okay that I'm having, like I'm literally at work crying because I can't remember the damn password. Josie, come on now.
Yeah.
Marty, you ever cried over a password?
But
What?
first of all, I'd like to say thank you for your service. And I just want to say also that I thought that was very nice that you did that with your daughter to kind of, I don't want to use the term of walking to womanhood, but I thought that was a very good gender that you did that. So I just want to commend you on that.
Yeah, one of the things that I know you mentioned like our mothers going through. What I've found after like talking to my mother and talking to different people in my family, different women in my family, they just they didn't know what they were going through. So they can't really tell you what they experienced because nobody was paying attention to it. And it's just now that women are starting to say, "Hey, there is something wrong and it needs to be addressed." And while I was doing my research, I found out there are so many different things that are connected with estrogen. Your life expectancy is connected to this hormone estrogen because the inflammation that comes from your body, the osteoporosis that comes from estrogen leaving your body, estrogen stops your body from being inflamed. And so it also people who go and not to even mention women who go through menopause early by medically, right? Like for me, I had a hysterectomy. I had to have an emergency hysterectomy. And I'm being all kind of transparent tonight. But I had to have an emergency hysterectomy. And I didn't know. They told me, "Oh, you're keeping your eggs, you'll be fine." But I didn't know that instantly that your hormone levels start to shift. And so in the process of that, here I am like what is going on with me, and I realized like there's so many different women that it's tied to dementia, Alzheimer's, all of these different things that really affect your cognitive ability and your quality of life. And until recently, like I just even when I talk to other women that I know, and I'm so thankful for my friend Mickey who was like, "Girl, just so one day when you go through this, you can know that hormone therapy is an option for women." And it's so many different people. I even talked to one of my older women cousins. And when I was like, "Oh, yeah, I'm thinking about getting on estrogen," she was like, "Oh, we don't do that in this family. You just work out. You got to hit the gym. You got to work out harder." And for the most part, that's what a lot of doctors tell you, that it's something that was associated with women that was overweight. But it's not, it has nothing to do with weight. It has everything to do with hormones. So just, there's a lot of data out here that was previous that was saying that hormone therapy caused cancer. In reality, the women that they were testing, they found out that no, it doesn't cause cancer and that it was really not truthful and it wasn't done properly. And so women were just suffering going through this, not even knowing that they had options of getting on hormones, which I have no problem saying that's what I did. I went and I got a hormone patch, and it was like instantly, it was like, guess who's back? You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
So, during this process of the different changes, does it has anything to do with your eating habits, rest, sometimes exercise? Just kind of, can you guys like kind of walk me through that, or just to help Amanda understand that when you're going through this process, where a man can kind of like comfort you?
Yes. Juicy, did you want to go first? This is definitely your show. I didn't want to jump in too soon, but that got personal for me. So I'm like, let me break it down for my brother.
So I made, you know me, I'm always about making up a good list.
Mm-hmm.
So I took notes, and I just was going to say, like, for me as a woman, I think that a man's guide, because I want men to know that, like, when you with your woman and all of a sudden everything you do is annoying her, she's aggravated by your presence, and you ain't did nothing different. You been goofy. You know what I'm saying? You been leaving your socks on the, your shoes by the door and your socks, on the floor in the bedroom. And now she wants to bite your head off because of it. And you're like, what is going on? I done lost my woman. Like, I don't know what's going on. She crazy right now. She probably is.
Give her a Snickers.
No, Snickers ain't gonna do it. She needs something a little bit deeper than a Snickers.
She need a moment.
And Snickers ain't gonna do it. See, that's one of them things that get you 2-piece. So I'm gonna help you not to get 2-piece. Okay, handing her chocolate, and her stomach is fat, and she's telling you, like, I'm trying to slim down. I'm working out. I'm eating salads and being sad, and you over here trying to give me a Snicker. What you trying to say? So one of the things, and I say a man's guide to supporting your partner through perimenopause, right? Listen first. A lot of times we just be wanting to be listened to. Listen first, fix it later. Don't rush to solve everything. Sometimes she just needs to be heard out and understood that what she's going through is she's not crazy. Like, and that you hear. Be patient with her mood swings, because we can't help it. Be patient. The hormones is what's causing the ups and the downs and the woes. And listen, don't take it personally, because it really ain't you. You got to know it ain't you, baby. It ain't you, baby. It's me. It's me.
I know it ain't me.
And then learn together. Learn together. Be willing to just do the research. Find out how you can help. Bring these topics to her. Hey, babe, did you know they got this pill you could take? Hey, babe, they got a cream or a patch? Like, learn together. Read up on it. Be informed. When you inform, it shows that you care about it, that you're concerned with her well-being. That's what we be really wanting. All right. And supportive, self-care. When you know she done put on a little extra weight, don't be calling her fat. Encourage her to get her rest. I'm just saying, exercise with her. Yeah, exercise with her.
Why you want me to go walk? I'm fat now.
No, it's just exercise with her. Blame it on yourself, baby. I'm getting a little pudgy. Come on, I need you to walk with me.
I'm getting pudgy too?
I mean, you taking one for the team. What I'm saying is, you taking one for the team so that you can help your woman feel supported, right? So handle some stuff for her. Pick up a little bit more in the errand department because she's tired. Lighten the load for a little bit. It's gonna help relieve some of the stress. Offer to cook sometimes.
So this gonna be you gonna bash men all night?
No,
we talking about support.
Okay,
we talking about support.
Okay. All right.
Everything is not about bashing a man. We're not bashing. We're saying how you can support. Stay focused.
Okay, not bad.
Cool.
I had a moment.
That's all right.
Maybe I'm going through something right now.
You might be.
You know what I'm saying?
Men go through something, but stay intimate.
Yeah.
And I'm saying her body may change. She may not be in the mood like she used to be, but closeness still matters. You know, be close, hug her, be
I'm
flexible,
hot though. They
intimate,
be like,
be
I'm hot.
open,
Get away
be
from me. I'm
open
hot.
to intimacy.
What about
Yeah,
they be
but it
like, I'm
might
hot.
intimacy might be just being present in the bed with her back to back. You feel what I'm saying? I'm serious.
Are you
That
right?
back to back. Don't underestimate the back to back. Okay.
Oh,
That's how I like to sleep, back to back.
okay. All right.
I'm just saying, don't underestimate that, right? And help with hot flashes. You know she gonna be having a problem. Make sure that fan is on her side of the bed, that it's blowing directly on her nightstand. That's important. We need that, you know?
Right.
Make sure when you come upstairs after you finish watching Sports Center, put some ice, an ice bottle, make sure it's frozen, or have some ice in a cup of you know, a Stanley or a metal, you know, so it can stay hot. Have that so that you can then, bam, bring it up, put it on a nightstand so she can drink some cold water, because them hot flashes be a trip.
No, they're not fun.
No.
And we all have them for different reasons. So
Yeah.
like mine are ignited by my emotional state. So if I get too excited, whether I'm laughing too hard, whether I get upset, whether I forget my password and I'm working, I have a hot flash. Now there's other women that I know that they really only get them because they eat spicy food. I don't have no problem when I eat spicy food. Could you imagine? So again, the thing is with this, so to Hardy's point of like, how do you support that person? To Kim's thing is just being supportive, right? We don't have to fix it. Like I had someone say to me, he was like, well, I'm reading Chat GPT. The hell, I don't need you reading Chat GPT. Ask me how the hell I feel. Ask me. I would have told you to bring me some water, right? Because now the stupid stuff that you're doing is pissing me off to a level that I don't even understand. I might just need a hug until I start sweating, and then I'm like, all right, thank you for the hug. I gotta go, because I'm hot now. I'm hot, you know, but I appreciate it, you know. And so it's not like we're trying to be bees or insensitive to you guys' feelings or anything, but you really think, huh? Okay, I thought you said something, but when you really think about it, we come from baby boomers. They just went through it. They didn't leave us gems like, yo, you're going to need this, da 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 da. All we knew is when we went to Big Mom house, it's cold as hell. Nobody said that Big Mom was going through something, right?
No one really talked about this.
No one did. So we didn't know Big Mom was just real fluffy, and that's why she liked it cold in her house. We just didn't know. But Grandma was going through something. Big Mom was going through something, right? And so yeah, we got to talk about all these different things, right? And so it's not to empathize one with another, but even down to what Hardy was talking about earlier, like I even went through a whole breakup, right? And shout out Kim, thank you so much. But I went through a whole breakup, and I remember going to a therapist and everything, and my ex was like, "You're just becoming a bitch now. Like you, everything is a problem." Juicy, am I using the wrong words? Am I gonna get in trouble for this?
Oh, you all right.
Okay, because I was like, "Ooh, I forgot to ask." So, but that's what he said. He said that in the therapist, Hardy. He was like, "This isn't even you. Like, I don't know you." And I was like, "You know what I did, Hardy? I looked at that man in front of our therapist, who was a man. I said, maybe you going through the change, babe."
You put it on him?
I put it on him because obviously he was the one going through the change, right? And so he was like, well, you know what? Hell, maybe I am. I'll go see my doctor. So he took it on the chin, but neither him nor the therapist ever said, Chasity, do you think it could be you? No one ever asked me. So I never even thought, like literally, so he went, got his hormones tested, his testosterone, all those different things, when the reality is I am the one who entered a new stage, right? And so even if the therapist would have just said, hint, hint, clue, clue, just like Juicy did when she called me, right? Then I'd have been like, well, let me check it out. Because after all of that, Hardy, I was embarrassed. You know, I felt really, really bad because I would have handled everything a lot different. I just didn't know what I didn't know. I really didn't. And to Juicy's point, and I'll lay myself to rest for this second. Estrogen is more important than us just giving birth to babies. It is a part of our memory. It is a part of our bone density. It's a part of our muscle tone. So that's why you see a lot of women in their mid 40s and their 50s, you start to get that little round ball. It's because you're losing your muscle tone. And that's because of drop of estrogen. It's the same thing with men. So don't y'all try to get too, because when your testosterone levels drop, that's why your body start to look real soft, like, you know, Pillsbury Doughboys. Come for us. I'm just saying, you know, we need these things, y'all. It's more than us just having sex. Like, we literally need it. So, you know, it really is a good
It's a real,
Let's talk about that sex.
well, wait, it's a real function. Now, please don't get him started, okay?
My bad.
It's a real thing that becomes a real issue for us, right?
Can't hear you.
And she knows she's muted.
Oh, okay.
You have to keep reassuring your mate, you know. You have to keep reassuring your person. And like just being really transparent, like me and Chastity was both going through this at the same time and we fell out. We got into it.
Whoa.
We start beefing.
Oh no, it was bad. It was ugly.
Bad.
It was ugly. It was ugly.
And I think that I
can
called
just
her one
imagine.
day. I went through a breakup too during this time. And I think I ended up going.
So men should leave y'all alone for like 30 days?
It's more than 30 days.
We didn't even know though. That's what we talking about. Like if once we were paying a professional to fix my relationship. If the therapist would have just took 2 seconds instead of allowing me to blame it on my partner and saying he's going through a midlife crisis, just turn that scope one quick time at me and say, baby girl, let's go get both of y'all hormones checked. Just put my feet to the fire just a little bit. Then I would have known this prior to Juicy even calling me, because that was exactly at the same time she and I fell out. And all of my relationships were in turmoil at that time. I didn't know really what it was. I thought all of these people was crazy, even though I was the common denominator, right? But I was like, maybe I'm just going through something, you know. Maybe God moved me through something. I don't know.
And I was going through some things too at the time and was unaware, because even at the time that me and you fell out, I hadn't actually got any help. You know what I'm saying? I hadn't got any help with my situation and what I was going through either. So I remember we got into a really bad, you know, argument, and we had a really hard falling out with one another. And I went through 2 breakups at the time that I went through this. I ended up getting divorced, got into another relationship, and then broke up with that person too, right? Before I really actually realized like maybe I need to do something a little bit more serious and get some help. And so I did end up going to get, like I said, on getting therapy and going to get, you know, some hormonal therapy that ended up being really beneficial for me. So I just want to I want to hit the last thing that is on our list of, you know, when a woman is going through this process, right? She really doesn't need to be criticized and told she's crazy and told like, oh, something is wrong with you. You crazy, you nuts. Because in both my relationships, it was like, you crazy, you nuts, you know? And I probably was crazy and nuts at that time. But what I really needed was a teammate. I needed somebody to say, hey, babe, what's really going on with you? Like, let's go see a therapist and not internalize it. And I think that at that time, you know, if I would have known that this was even a thing, I don't know if I would have ended up divorced, you know, because I probably would have been able to navigate it. I would have understood myself a little bit better. And what I was going through at that moment. I might have not gotten divorced, you know. We might have been able to figure it out. I might have got on some hormone therapy earlier to realize this. And the thing is, the common misconception that you got to be in your 50s, right?
No.
to go through this. No, you actually start, it can start as early as 32 years old.
Wow.
Yeah. That's
So-
what somebody said in the chat too about her daughter. She's probably starting, and that's a very true thing. It's a lie, and so that's the whole point of us having this conversation. It's not a one size fits all. Just like it's not a one size fit all when men are going through their different changes. Some men you will see they become very, very, very promiscuous. Some men want a Ferrari, right? Everybody theirs look different. One person said her cycle stopped at 44. So it's like it's a different thing for each and every one of us. And so we just have to have grace and begin having a conversation, because the reality is the baby boomers didn't leave us nothing to work with. And so this is all we got, right? So we're learning it, boots on the ground together, right? And it's like each one teach one. So even like when I was talking to someone who was like a little sister to me, and like you literally she's beefing with everybody. Like her dude, she's like at him at a very, very hostile rate. And I was just like, well, of course I waited until he was gone or whatever. And I was just like, sis, maybe you should get your hormones checked, you know? I was like, are you about to start your cycle? No. Well, maybe we're on two different pages. Juicy, I knew that energy, right? That felt familiar, right? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and
I
and
did
we
that.
should start getting our estrogen levels. Like one of the things that we can do immediately
Thank you.
is when you go to the doctor for your annual pap smear, to ask them to check your, after you get about 32, start asking them to check your estrogen levels. Juju said, wake up.
Uh-uh.
She's always somebody. I'm aware.
Actually, start getting your estrogen levels checked during that time. And I think that is really beneficial. That was one of the things that I feel like women should do. And I want to talk about a little bit about some of the different factors that you may have, some of the different symptoms that are not atypical, right?
Hmm.
Because everybody, we talk about hot flashes, the shorter period changes, or some people have heavier flows instead of a shorter flow or a lighter flow. It becomes intensely heavy, which was a sign for me that I was unaware of. Like before I end up having an emergency hysterectomy. But part of the reason why I end up having an emergency hysterectomy is because I was like passing out from my cycle. Like I was losing so much blood
Mhm.
that I was literally in a situation where my doctor was like, I was extremely anemic. I was losing my hair. My hair was breaking off, and I'm like, what is going on? This is insanity. Why am I going through this? And part of the reason why I was going through this is because I was in the middle of this big hormone change. So I went to the doctor. I ended up suffering for like 10 years of like these really heavy menstruals. And I finally end up getting a hysterectomy because, Chaz, I was anemic for years, chewing ice, hair thinning, just like all kind of cut my hair off and start all over. I don't know how many times. You feel what I'm saying? And it was then I like looking back on it, hindsight, knowing what I know now, that's what was happening to me this whole entire time. And I was completely unaware. And this is why this is so that's one of the not so typical. And then a lot of women start at that same time, like all this is happening together. Like I feel like I had every symptom that you could possibly have, but at the same time, I also had like I got diagnosed with sleep apnea as well, which that's also a sign of perimenopause is
See,
the
there is not one straight line to be able to do this. So yes, go ahead.
So,
Tracy said that was me.
let me ask you this, ladies. Like, for example, so is it better to see a male doctor or a female doctor because of a female doctor could probably relate to your condition compared to a man?
I think it's better to see a knowledgeable doctor. One thing that I will say is that Metro Health has a whole menopause clinic now. And there's a whole woman initiative, a woman health initiative, WHI, where people are really taking a serious look, and they're doing a lot of different studies now related to perimenopause, menopause, and postmenopause and the effects that it have. I, for one, think that my grandmother went through menopause early because she had a hysterectomy. And her having that when she was in her 70s, she developed Alzheimer's and dementia. I found out that's something that runs in my family. Now, just by taking hormone therapy for me personally, that increases my chances of that not being an issue for me, you know? And that's why it's so important to get that word out that there are different options that you can take. And there's things out there that you can do to stop from having these type of issues. But my grandmother didn't know. And when she was in her 70s, she ended up getting, like I said, first she got dementia in her like late 50s, early 60s. And then by 70 years old,
Wow.
you know, she ended up passing away from Alzheimer's to the point where she, you know, as it progressed, you forget to eat and different things like that.
Yeah. So even with me adding to that, I'm gonna definitely say I don't think it's gender specific, Hardy, on which doctor to see. The doctor that I saw outside, because remember I was seeing a woman at the VA clinic, and so she was honest. She said, "This is not what we study. They're not going to allow me to do certain things because your hormones change so much throughout the day, throughout the month. So they're not going to put forward the effort." So what I did was I went out to go see a civilian. He happens to be a man, right? And you know, many people will say, "Oh, well, he doesn't know." Well, he has a whole wife that had to go through this process too, right? So one of the biggest things that he shared with me is every person's journey is different, just like our menstrual cycles are different. Some women are light, they have good moods, and the rest of it. Some of us, we cry babies, you know, and it really does affect our mood and, you know, how you actually feel. Everyone is different. So I think more than anything is definitely having someone that is knowledgeable. Now, one woman did share with me as well is going to see a specialist. That is something that I'm looking forward to doing as well, just to see if there's different information. So far, the hormone replacement has helped me tremendously. Within 48 hours, my complete mood, everything changed. It was like a cloud lifting. It was like I was back to myself again. I was like, oh snap, I'm back in my body. Like, oh snap. Like nothing is like overly sensitive. Like the same slow ass laptop I've been had. I don't care that it take forever to load. It's been like that, Hardy. What would I cry for? I know just to let it load, plug it in, find something else to do while it loads. It's no big thing now. However, you know, we just have to be open to one another and share it.
Yeah. Kimberly said, "What does hormone therapy look like? I've never thought about that. I have just been taking a lot of vitamins, exercise, and trying to eat better, shadow work, among other things." So, one of the things that I will say, Kim, and what it looks like, I would say definitely go talk to your doctor because each woman is different, but I can share what it's like for me. I have a patch that it's like a little tiny patch that I put on that I change like every 3 days. And it completely and totally works well for me. And I just want to share too, hormone therapy, it's like a sweet spot for hormone therapy, right? Because estrogen works really well for you if you get it as a preventative and not after. So if you're in that, if you're in your 40s, you're perimenopause, and you start hormone therapy, it can be very helpful for you during that time. If you wait, even if you're in the early menopause stages, it can help you. But after a certain time, like it's just it doesn't work. It doesn't have the same effectiveness as it would have if you got it early. So that's why we're talking about this subject so early, is because it is detrimental and it does help tremendously if you start early and you get hormone therapy early while you're still in the perimenopause, early menopause stage. It makes a big effect on your life. So I would say it's something that you definitely want to talk to your doctor about. It's something that you just like. I think I take a patch. I don't know what are you on, Chastity?
I'm taking a pill. I take the pill once a day.
Mhm.
I wanted to try the pill out, and again, hormone replacement looks different for everyone. So I didn't, I don't know why I didn't choose the cream, but this type of stuff is expensive, guys. So make sure you guys are on top of your benefits and all those different things. And also, when you're talking to your doctor, just because it is so expensive, ask them, can you get the generic? A lot of times, like for the pill has not come out with a generic yet. I was willing to pay because I needed the help. I didn't recognize this woman that people was talking to. Okay, I'm not a girl that I know my laptop old. Why would I cry because it's taking a long time to load? Like, why would I do that in front of a bunch of my peers? And I work in a very male dominant industry. I wouldn't do that. Like, so I needed to get back to me. So I did what I had to do in regards to that. So I'm taking a pill, along with my pill that I do take every single day. Um, I also do different herbs. So I use moringa. Moringa definitely helps with the stabilization of your estrogen, and it stops with the hot flashes as well. Moringa is Morin as in Nancy GA. Someone else in one of my chats also says she uses the cream. It only costs her $30, whereas with the pill is not $30. The pill without a prescription, without insurance, is $900. Um, if you go to like the pharmacy, not the pharmacy, but like RX prescription, whatever it's called, the company will give you a discount code, and it's only like $100 a month. So that's going to be a big difference too. So you have to figure that out. But definitely, I still work out. I'm working out more. I'm going to start doing more weight training just to make sure I'm building in my muscle tone, and that muscle tone is not turning to fat. So it's not anything for us to feel bad about, right? It's the same thing as when you start seeing middle-aged men get in the gym. That's what the hell we got to start doing. Doing your hormone replacement, being serious about drinking water, being serious about sleeping, chastity, right? Because I'm real quick to be like, all I need is 4 or 5 hours of sleep. No, baby, if what the night called for me was 7 to 8 hours, that's what I'm gonna get now. I ain't even fighting with me no more. I don't got nothing to prove to none of y'all. I got to make sure I'm saying in the morning so I don't accidentally cuss one of y'all out. So there we go.
So let me just ask this: is the issue? Is it the estrogen?
It's
The
the
low
estrogen.
estrogen?
It's
Is
Yeah.
that the main issue here?
It's the drop of the hormone
Gotcha.
estrogen
Okay.
in your body.
Yeah, it's the same thing as with testosterone, right?
But
So, like, one thing that I learned even with my ex is like the drop of testosterone. I thought he was just doing it just like for his libido, but he was like, no, it's for my memory, it's for my muscle tone, it is for all the things. He was like, I'm not as competitive as a man, and he was a financial advisor, right? So he wanted to maintain his edge as well. And I noticed like when he didn't do his injection of testosterone, he was tired. He was grumpy, like a grumpy grandpa, right? That's where the saying come from. And it's the same thing for women. It's the same thing for women. Estrogen really does regulate our mood. It regulates our memory, all your cognitive skills, your muscle tone. That's why you start seeing a lot of middle-aged women with that round belly, because that slimness that estrogen created, if you ain't actively working the muscles out, baby, that's going to turn to a little round ball. So we got to get serious about this.
And I heard somebody say in the chat that you have to have progesterone too. So that is true. If you are still a woman who has like your uterus, then you definitely have to take estrogen and progesterone as well to balance each other out and to stop that, because estrogen can mess up the lining of your uterus, but that's why you take the progesterone to help balance it. Yes, definitely important. And I heard a doctor explain it in a very kind of interesting way, and I'll just share it with you, Hardy. That doctor said, like a woman losing estrogen is like equivalent to a man waking up and his balls shriveling up and turning into raisins.
It's really that serious. It's that serious. You see how Hardy got serious then. He said, this is serious. He was like, I'm about to be on a crusade with y'all. The hell with that. The hell. You see? Now he's ready.
He was like, what the hell?
He was like, I'm about to help y'all. Oh, sorry. Somebody over there.
So right. That's how serious it is for a woman. Now you understand why we like, what? Because that's how serious it is for us. But
I guess what I was kind of comparing it to for women is estrogen, and for men it's just testosterone, correct? Is that correct?
Men have, I think men have estrogen too as well in their body. But
I think as much. I think
not as much. I think that y'all do have the same.
Yeah, I think they have let's look at it. Let's not, yeah.
It's not gas. Progesterone. They might have.
Yeah.
Let's see. We're gonna ask Chat GPT.
Yeah, but say let's ask this so we ain't sounding crazy, putting out misinformation out here.
No, that's right. I don't want nothing happening to my testicles.
The doctor asks, telling her you need.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, women have testosterone, I know for sure.
Oh, for sure, yeah. I think, yeah.
Oh, Chad gave me so many other hormones. Yeah, they got the growth hormone, insulin, all this other stuff, but their primary is definitely testosterone. So that is the primary. No.
It say yes, men do have estrogen.
Okay.
It's not only a female hormone, but both men and women have estrogen and testosterone, just in different amounts.
Correct. Yes.
It helps with bone health, brain function, sexual health, which I'm going to talk about too, because I know that, when women think about menopause, a lot of times, and just recently, like doctors just start doing more research on it because of the way that it affects the brain and the work that they've been doing on the the different parts of your brain, and trying to find a cure for Alzheimer's and different things like that. And that's when they start finding, like, wow, women who took hormone therapy, their brains tend to function better. And men who testosterone levels drop, they kind of seem to end up with dementia too. And how is this happening? Yes, if you ever see, yes, and they can get this. I got a whole funny story about men with estrogen, because plant estrogen can do that to you too. Like,
Yeah,
the
too much soy. Yeah.
Because it happened to my son. I had to take him to the doctor. He had like this whole.
Your son is not going to appreciate you talking about this right now. We better stay on perimenopause, ma'am.
Like, I know, right? You're right. Clock it. I ain't say which one. But yeah, so that is, it has that effect as well. So where we at next? I want to talk about low libido. Did you experience low libido?
Oh gosh, yeah, I experienced low libido. Because I really thought everyone was getting on my nerves. My partner was getting on my nerves. Naturally, it made sense that I was not as sexually attracted to him, right? But the reality is, once I actually realized the beast what I was dealing with, once I started popping my estrogen and I started taking my moringa and all my good stuff, and my hormone, I was like, doom, 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 man, ooh, man, you're fine, man. I was like, it just came, boom, right back, Hardy. It was like,
bingo, man.
man.
Yes.
But yeah,
same thing. It was like, after I got back on my estro, I was like, ooh, there she go. You know what I'm saying? Surprise, surprise. She awake and she alive. You know,
I know,
I
right?
was taking all kind of and I know you probably remember this, but I had went through this time when I was married and I thought that something was wrong with me. And I was like, and you was like, you need to go to GNC and you need to get these pills. And they like these pills to help women with libido. And my doctor, I went to my doctor, like something is wrong with me. But in reality, it was just that I was going through this hormonal change that I wasn't aware of.
Yeah, and that's a real thing. And so it's not just, so I also do want to add to women as well. Just outside of us just waiting for certain things, definitely encourage. I'm always about women's liberation and support and sexual health. So don't just wait for perimenopause. Don't just wait for X, Y, and Z. If you see a decline, go ahead and go to GNC. Get some of those different herbs. Get you some Duncoy. Get you some slippery elm. Get you some things to keep your juices flowing and your energy going in that direction. Especially if you have a partner that you live with or you're married. Like, don't just take it laying down. Like, that's why we're being transparent and talking about it, because don't take this shit laying down. Like, I don't believe in that. I'm just not that girl. Just like what Kim say, she said she had somebody asked if she was pregnant. I said, I'll be damned if I go out like that. You see, because you will start gaining weight in that little midsection, and I'm like, what is going on? I'm just not going out like Willie Lump Lump. I'm just not. So if I got to do more crunches, I got to take some more herbs, do different things to encourage myself. I get it. I ain't gonna feel like I'm 18 again. I get it. Praise God, I'm not, because Lord have mercy. The little YNs thinking they after somebody.
They still be after us though.
I mean, I'm saying though, so I don't need to feel like I'm 18 or 20. Okay, you understand? Because I already got a problem on my hands. So
I would say this though. Also, when I started the hormone therapy, my stomach started going down. It was like instantly my stomach started going down. It was like, I was like, oh, this is what's going on.
You're right. Yep, we did.
Section 2 though. I'm having this. Oh.
Well, I mean, Hardy, that's the thing. Other people trying to stay as fine as you. Right now, we trying to make sure the women know how to stay on point, okay? We trying to get there. We got you. Y'all go ahead and give him some, because Hardy need it. Mr. Hardy.
Right. Let's stay on task.
Now he want to stay on task. Ain't that some shit? Yeah.
Are you okay?
Yeah, I am. Yeah, but I would say that it also helped with my midsection as well. I instantly felt like my stomach started going back, because I never, Chaz, I never had no stomach for real. I never had a big stomach. Now I would gain weight in my hips and everywhere else, chest and hips, but my midsection would stay small. So all of a sudden, I'm like, I start getting a stomach. I'm like, what's going on? Okay, Love Child said, I take over 15 pills a day. I'm married, 10 years younger, and I can't throw the towel in. Soon as I got married to a younger man, perimenopause shows up. Baby, listen, you know what to do, though. You know what to do. So what are you doing? Love Child, we're going to put up the number. First, I want to show one more clip. But before, I want to know, Love Child, when we come back, I want you to put in the chat, what did you start doing? You said you married younger, you started, perimenopause. What have you done? Are you on hormone therapy? Have you seen your doctor? What are you doing to, help in this process? I'm curious. But before we do, I want to play a clip, and it's a little bit out of order, but I want to play the third clip because it talks about support for men. So I want to play that. Let's play the clip.
This is the video that made my husband finally understand what I've been dealing with. There's one thing you need to understand about your wife before it's too late. Most people think menopause just means her period stops. The truth? It's a complete hormonal storm that crashes her energy, mood, and health, and it often starts as early as 35. This stage is called perimenopause. Her hormones are crashing, and she didn't choose this. She was born with every egg she'll ever have, and as those eggs decline, so do 3 vital hormones. Progesterone calms her nervous system so she can relax. Testosterone fuels her energy, confidence, and desire. But when estrogen drops, everything spirals. Her joints ache, sometimes even frozen shoulders or hips. She's waking up at night with cortisol spikes and hot flashes. She goes to the bathroom more often. Her sex drive fades. It's not about you. She's gaining weight, especially around her belly. Even eating clean doesn't fix it. She feels anxious, foggy, sad. She forgets things. She doesn't feel like herself. This isn't drama. It's not mood swings. It's not laziness. It's a massive biological shift, and she's going through it alone. But here's what most doctors won't tell you. Her body is desperately lacking the nutrients it needs to support this transition. During menopause, inflammation rises while serotonin drops. Her nervous system is overloaded, and her sleep cycles are completely disrupted. There's an ancient superfood that has been used for thousands of years across the Mediterranean to support women through these exact changes. It's called saffron. Saffron helps support healthy serotonin levels, reduce inflammation, calm the nervous system, and regulate mood swings naturally. It's also been shown to support better sleep, reduce hot flashes, and ease anxiety. I've been recommending pure saffron from Rosabella to women going through this transition, and their husbands always thank me later. Because when she feels better, your relationship gets better.
You should have hit the horn on that one. Burr, burr. That's when you, because when he said it is a whole hormonal shift and imbalance, like it's a whole war that's happening inside of us. I thought that was absolutely fantastic because it really does give light. Like we're not choosing this. We're not like men. Like every time a man ejaculates, you guys create more sperm. Every time women are born with all the eggs we'll ever have. That is it. That is it. That is all. And when your body is getting ready to go through another shift, it is. And so it's all good. It's definitely all good. I just, it's about awareness. So I'm so grateful that we're having this conversation.
And I'm glad you mentioned about women being born with all the eggs that they'll have for their whole entire life, because we do have those eggs. And then that's what happens when your estrogen levels drop. You no longer have the eggs anymore. They're gone. And this is what triggers all of this happening in your body. But we just got to stay diligent as a woman. So I said, love child, I wanted to know what you were doing to change things. We're going to put the phone number up so you could call in if you want to share your story, what your experience is. I just feel like, I do want to talk about, and we're going to get into it, some of the things that you can do to help combat. We talked about vitamins. Strength training is another thing that you can do that's really, really important. Actually lifting weights, because it helps with your muscle tone, like Chasity said, and keeping you together. But as you age naturally, your body doesn't absorb the nutrients as it once did. And weight does play a part in it. If you are smaller, more fit, it does help you, but it doesn't mean that you won't go through perimenopause, because you'll still have the same symptoms as well. But it does help your body overall be healthier. The healthier your body is, the more nutrients and vitamins you're taking. If you're doing hormone therapy to help you, it is overall going to extend your life. We're not talking about it's a lot of things that's tied to estrogen. Heart disease, high cholesterol, all plays a part. Myself, for example, I've always had normal cholesterol levels. I've never had high cholesterol, and I still don't have high cholesterol, but my LDL cholesterol, right, has that one section has risen. It's a little elevated. And it's elevated because of the shift in hormones. Now, when I stop taking my estrogen or I don't put my patch on or something of that nature, it definitely affects my cholesterol. If you have a family history of heart disease or heart attacks and strokes, it's even more imperative that you are very mindful of your estrogen levels. Start getting checked early. Like I said, start requesting it from your doctor. And I think that the more that we are aware of this, the more that we're paying attention to this, doctors will become more aware. They'll be more knowledgeable. They'll start talking about it. And it's happening already.
I think we should go back to, if you don't mind, to the
Kim's
producer.
comment. I want to
Go
read
back
it.
to Kim's, yeah, because that was really powerful. And this is why we're doing it, guys. This is like literally, I was just telling Hardy I'm supposed to be traveling tonight. But I actually stayed in a location to make sure, because this is how important this is. Juicy is very important to me. So of course I would have did it. However, I really wanted to make sure my face, my energy, everything, because this is so important to me. So when Kim just shared this, that means a lot to me, because that's really what all of this is about. So go ahead. I just wanted to say that.
Yes,
From
I've teared up a few times during the show. It's definitely about awareness. We get so busy taking care of everyone and don't have the time to think about what is going on with ourselves. I've been trying so many different things. Yeah, Kim, I feel you. And one of the things Chastity will tell you, and some of my other friends that know that may be listening, they'll tell you during this transition for me, I was complaining all the time. I was crying constantly because I felt like no one was hearing me. Like I'm taking care of everybody. I'm there for everybody. I'm giving of myself. And now I'm overwhelmed and I'm going through so much. Who was there for me? Who was there to talk to me and help support me through this situation at a time? And unfortunately, a lot of times, and men, if you're listening, it's just we are looked at as we're losing our minds. And it's not just, I mean, the medical field, they call it, they won't put it in your medical chart. They won't say it out loud, but they'll tell you things like Chastity, doctor told her, oh, you'll get through it. It's just a phase. They call it whining woman syndrome.
Yep, tough it up, tough it up. Especially us melanated women. They expect us to endure this. Yeah, and just, oh, you're whining. No, no, the hell I'm not. And I don't need your depression pill. Because baby, soon as you pop one of these pills and rub that cream on, listen, you like, what was I crying for?
Or put your patch on.
Or your patch, baby.
Yeah.
However you want to do it.
However you want to do it. It's an instant change. And I mean, I'm grateful. Like I said, my friend told me her experience, and I was in the nail salon, and one of the ladies was like, "Hey, I'm gonna try this as well." She was like, I was talking about it. My doctor was saying I should get on hormone therapy. And she stood up with her cute little Coca-Cola body shape. And she said, you know what? I'm on hormones. I've been doing it and I feel great. And I was like, wow. And everybody else was in the shop was like, oh no, I wouldn't do that. I heard bad things because it's such a stigma associated with it. All right, let's put up Love Child comment. I'm my own doctor. I research what I needed and I take it. Weightlifting is the only way to get the weight off, removing stress, just trying all the things, and progesterone has helped a lot for sleep and energy.
Mhm.
Okay. Now, I will agree with you on the magnesium because that has been instrumental for me personally. And we don't know how important magnesium is to your body and your heart health. See, in my family, everybody died from heart attacks and high blood pressure, high cholesterol, strokes. It's none of it's that's what takes my family members out. And it's not even really so much diet because
Mhm.
in our family history, like they do eat pork but more or less in a little state, but for the most part, we from down south. So we eat a lot of seafood, a lot of dishes like that. But in general, It's just after a certain age and just me really realizing about my own body
Yeah.
and my family history that
Right.
I'm sure that if a lot of my family members were taking magnesium, they
Or
might,
hormone replacement. Yeah,
or,
it's been a lot of things that changed.
yeah, they might have not got mama. I know for sure. I really do believe if my grandmother would have got that hormone replacement during that sweet spot between
Mhm.
40 and 55 before you go
Yeah,
into full-fledged menopause,
right.
it would have definitely probably prolonged her life and helped her as far as not getting Alzheimer's or dementia. Maybe because it is a family history of that in our family, but it might have, but it might have not. But I'm
Never.
sure it would have helped her mood and would have helped her emotionally because she might have not been shooting it. No, I'm just kidding. She might have not been shooting it. My pistol care. But I remember
But to
Chastity.
be serious like that though, because think about it. Even as you went through a divorce, we both went through breakups. Even the way we were interacting with each other, right? It was things that it was not normal, right? Because even the things that you was going through, I didn't recognize you, and you like, oh, I'm about to. Now listen, y'all, I didn't know Juicy for over 2 decades, so this fiery boop 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 do 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 do. I'm like,
I'm about to bang.
she
Oh, I-
she gangsta boo now. Listen, Hardy, this has been my buddy that's gonna talk me off the cliff, right? So she'll be the one like, it ain't even that deep. Come on, man. We got too much. Da, 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 da. Now she gangsta boo. I'm like, who the hell is this lady? Yes, yes. So yeah, grandma would have definitely not been if she would have had some
she would have been shooting her gun out the window at people,
pop.
popping them. But I would say that that was very important. I think that would have helped her. And magnesium, because magnesium is very important for heart health. Yeah.
Yes, and I love magnesium too. It does help me sleep better at night. I use the spray magnesium because it bypasses the digestive tract, which sometimes can make your bowels loose. So if you're a little more sensitive or whatever the case may be, definitely get the kind that you can spray. I spray it on my legs and my feet right before I go to bed, and it does help absorb and it bypass your digestive tract. It goes straight into your stream. It's absorbed, and then you're able to have a good night's rest. And that's very important. So I know it's been a lot. Hardy, what have you taken away from some of this? Because we want to make sure people are here. I want to make sure y'all hearing me. I don't want you just sitting there just looking like a fine piece of chocolate. You got to let us know that this is right.
Sleep.
Here's what I didn't realize that.
Somebody's calling in. We got to call her.
Okay.
Welcome to Juicy Talk.
Hi, this is Love Style.
Hi, love child. How
Hey, love
are
child.
you?
First caller.
Good.
First.
It's
Is this your
also
first
known as
time calling
Nicoya.
in?
Yes, it is.
Where you calling from?
I'm in Columbus. I've actually been on your show before it looked as cool as it looks now.
Oh, okay.
Well, thank you for tuning in. I
Yeah, thank
appreciate you. We didn't have a glow up.
Yeah, big time.
Shout out to the glow up.
Yes.
So yeah, as you can see from all of my comments, I am deep into this perimenopause. It is really a beast. As you guys mentioned, I don't feel like our generation was prepared for this at all. I think that our kids will glide through it because we're going to be so informed and sharing everything with them. But we really just got thrown into this. We had no idea it was coming. And for me, I'm super, super, super health conscious. Probably because of the estrogen dominance that I've always had. Because my mother had cancer, my whole father's side died from cancer. So I've always been like super into supplements and, making sure I exercise, making sure I'm okay because I refuse to have that. I refuse to get it. I feel like cancer can be prevented. I feel like there's always things that you can do. So I was always heavy into supplements and stuff like that, always into researching what I should do, what I should get, what's going to, So I think that helped me a little bit. But at the same time, there is no preparation for this. Like I said, the heart palpitations, like when it came, it came like a whirlwind. And that going crazy, feeling like you're crazy, that I think was the worst part. You cannot prepare for that. Like, you literally wake up, you hate everybody. You hate life. You don't understand. You can't even put it into words, but you know you don't feel right. Something is off and something is wrong. And it's like a spiral. And the only thing I can say was lucky for me, it was like it didn't go past a week. But that week I will never forget for the rest of my life. It was terrifying. And I had just got married. I'm like, with this younger man, I'm like, life is supposed to be great. I'm living the life. And then
Just comes along, huh?
Thank God at that time it was like long distance. So I was like trying to hide what I was going through and, you know, like be happy when he came. But I was like, something is off. Something is wrong with me. And so when I started looking into it, I was like, oh my God, is this connected to menopause? And then when I started having the heart palpitations, which was way out of the blue, I looked that up and I was like, oh my God, I think I'm in perimenopause. And it made sense. I'm like, at the time I was like 45. So I was like, this is definitely what this is. And it just got worse and worse. Those things went away, which is great because the heart palpitations are terrifying. That's just scary. You know, you're literally sitting there. You're not like exercising or walking. You're just chilling and your heart is jumping. That, for me personally, that's terrifying.
Yeah.
But the mood changes. Just like you guys were saying, crying out of nowhere over passwords. Like, it's insane. So I've had everything. It was like everything was just going almost like they wanted to like, let me just get this out of her system. We're just going to go through everything one by one. And I feel like that happened. I feel like I'm kind of balanced out now because I know what's going on. That helps tremendously knowing what is happening. But when I got the progesterone cream, that was a game changer for me because my sleep is so thrown off. So that helped a lot. I upped my magnesium. I take like these 2 freaking horse pills at night. But that helps tremendously to help me sleep, at least try to sleep through the night. But that goes up and down depending on when my cycle is coming. So it's like almost no sure fix. You can just kind of make it through and make things better. I do know that weightlifting is, I don't care who you are, you got to lift weights at this point in your life.
Oh, yeah.
You don't have to be a bodybuilder, but that is like the only way the weight is going to come off because
Yes.
I'm a walker. I've always, you know, done little weights, like little cute girly stuff. That's just not making it anymore. Because you have to lift heavy. You know, the walking is like a necessity. It's just like basically the stuff that I was doing, it's not working anymore. And I feel like I woke up and I'm like 20 pounds heavier. Like I refuse to get on a scale because I know it's going to mess me up, like mentally. But you can tell, you know, your body, you know. So that I think is the hardest part, is knowing that I'm not a person who just, you know, lives unhealthy. I'm a pretty decent person when it comes to taking care of myself and my health. So that I think is like psychologically the most painful, is that you're doing what they tell you you should be doing. You should walk this many minutes a week. You should do this. Yeah, I'm doing those things. And then out of nowhere, you wake up heavier. That just, I think, messes with your mental. And it's crazy how you guys were saying, like, the doctors will say you're depressed. Well, who the heck wouldn't be depressed when all of these things are happening to you and it's like you have no control over it? You know, if you're exercising every day and still gaining weight, you want to kill somebody over that.
Listen,
You better say it.
I went raw vegan for probably about 4 months and end up gaining 25 pounds.
Honey,
tell me how you gain weight
me.
off of being raw. I mean, like literally raw vegan.
How about this? That has happened to me. I was not trying to be vegan. This is way before I knew anything about perimenopause, menopause. I was going to the gym 5 days a week. This is when I was killing the game, okay? I was going 5 days a week. I was eating almost vegan because I was like really doing like raw foods. And I sat in the car one day and I just couldn't even get the energy to go in the gym. I was so exhausted, not knowing that there are certain people that raw foods are not good for. Me, hello, I was one of those people. So I was actually hurting myself eating like that. It's like being a woman, you have to be a scientist.
You do.
It's so sad. It's heartbreaking.
It's true.
So can I ask a question for all 3 ladies?
Please, yeah, because we want to hear from our male counterparts, Hardy, because this is the only way that we understand your thought process as men to be able to communicate it, and y'all really hear us without like, oh, this bitch going crazy, or my wife ain't, you know what I'm saying? Like, we got to make sure we
Okay.
do hear you.
I hear you now.
So I just want to, when you say you're gaining weight, is it water weight or is it like
No, like it's the midsection.
Yeah.
Like it's water
What
weight
is it?
because like it's all of my
Adipose?
face.
What is it?
Adipose fat. Yeah, that muscle is turning to fat. So, like what Love Child is saying, like that cute stuff we was doing, the cute little walk I was doing, drinking me some extra water, that's not working. Sorry.
Hardest weight to lose. That's why I'm like, the stuff that I've been doing for years, it's not working anymore. And the thing is, it's like, yeah, well, you got to lift weights now. You got to do this. You got to, increase the blah, blah, blah. Well, you don't have the energy to do that. So now you got to force yourself to find the energy. Lifting weights, I can do aerobics, I can do anything. Nothing takes it out of me and makes me sweat and like want to die like lifting weights. I have a whole I have everything. I have the weight machine in my basement. I have weights at work. I have weights all over the house. I don't have an excuse, but it's so difficult because you don't have the freaking energy.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for calling in. We definitely appreciate you.
Thank you for listening to me, Brant.
You're my favorite person, Love Child.
Oh, so you recognize
I
me?
do. Your voice is very distinctive. I will always recognize your voice.
Okay. Well, thank you for this whole topic. It's super, super important. Thank you so much.
No problem.
Thanks for calling in.
Thank you for calling
Absolutely.
in.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, I just, this is so important. This was like a really important show. It was very, very important. This information that we got out, I hope that people found it to be informative. And I hope people really enjoyed it. I hope somebody learned something today. And even after the show is over, if you couldn't join us live, I hope that you take it and share it with a friend who may be going through something, who may be going through this situation. And I know, like for me, sometimes when I'm in a store and I may see a woman behind the counter, actually just happened this week. My daughter was at the doctor and it was this receptionist that was being really rude to her out of nowhere. And if you know my daughter, she's really, really sweet. And she was being very being very professional with the lady. She was like, "Oh, I've been seen here before." And she was just like being really nasty. Where your mama at? Type thing. She about to be 18 in like 3 weeks. And she's like, I can go to the doctor by myself, She had like a cold and she wanted to make sure she didn't have an ear infection. Well, this lady was like extremely rude to my daughter behind the counter. And when I went up to the counter and I seen this lady, I was like, and she over there sweating at the copy machine, looking mean and evil as ever. And I was like, I was coming in there to like check something, you know what I'm saying? But I seen her over there sweating like crazy, looking like, a monster. she was so upset and mad at this little bouncy little 17-year-old about to be 18. And I just was like, it's okay. Where's the paper you want me to fill out? I got it. I filled out the paper and was like, have a good day. Alyssa, go ahead and go into the doctor, And I was just like, let me get his sister some grace. I ain't gonna call her boss. She going through enough. And she's probably going through we about the same age. I know she right in the thick of perimenopause, work in a doctor's office, and probably still don't know. Yeah, it's my mission to conquer it too. And not only is it my mission to conquer it, it's my mission to see other women conquer it. I don't want any woman out there listening and suffering in silence. Like, we've been suffering in silence for too long with these type of issues, and I don't want us suffering in silence anymore. I want us to speak up about it. I want us to be informed, Kim. I want us to get together and have these conversations amongst your girlfriends and your girl groups and say, hey, honey child, you've been tripping lately. Girlfriend, let's talk. Let's go to the doctor together. This may be what's going on with you. And it's something that's really important. We need to share this type of information. And we need to share it with our partners as well. Like your man needs to know that you are not and I want men to recognize that when you see a woman and she's losing her mind, because I have heard a lot of men like these women crazy, And I'm like, she might just be, but it's something that can be solved if you take the right steps. And I really want men to know, like, you can support your partner. Y'all can get through it. It's a lot of women going through this right now, and they about to get divorced when really all they need is some estrogen. Or they feel like they losing their mind, and all they really need is some estrogen.
All they need is some hormone replacement and a hug, baby. It'll change the world. But you got to say it gently.
You said you got to say it gently. So, what's your takeaway from the show tonight, Chasity?
Well, I wanted to first hear what Mr. If you didn't mind, because I wanted us to circle back because he was about to say something. Love Child popped in. I do want to hear a man's perspective because I have guys in my chat as well that's listening. And so I want to make sure, because I don't want men to walk away with like, this is just another assignment for them. Some more shit they got to figure out, some more stuff they got to Google, go to Chat GPT. Like, how do we dumb it down as quick as possible? You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not expecting you to treat me like a science lab, right? But I do expect you to understand that as I'm learning it, you learning. So what did you hear, Mr. Hardy? And then I'm going to give my key takeaways if you don't mind after that.
That's fine. Yeah, what I guess what I took out of this, like, so many women have, I don't want to use the word complicated bodies, how their bodies affected by different ways, like through periods, through, like you were saying, you being a mom, you being a wife. You have so much going on, and your body's going through these changes. You're being pulled in so many different directions. So I just I feel for women. They go through a lot.
Well, what did you learn about supporting women through this process?
Just gotta be patient. Conversation. Be like, have a conversation. Say, what can I do to help you through this process? But you gotta let that man know that, hey, I'm maybe a little, I don't want to say chemical imbalance today, but you got to let him know, hey, something's going on with my body today.
It's a hormonal imbalance.
Okay.
I guess it is a chemical to a certain extent.
I don't know. I'm not no doctor, but that's what I got of that. It's just, hey, talk to him. Give him the heads up. Hey, I may be acting a little strange today because my body's going through something.
Yeah. There's a real scientific, she said, there's a real scientific research that women do be getting divorced the most.
Yeah, we do.
Very true. I myself went through a divorce, and I am for sure now that this is what I was going through. Had I known, I probably we might have made it. You know what I'm saying? I don't, but we might have, because I was going through this big hormonal change. I didn't have anything to compare it to.
Correct.
I remember I asked my mother one time, like, Mom, when did you go through menopause? She was like, I ain't go through it. Everybody don't go through that,
See?
But hindsight, looking at it now, I could tell you that I know that my mom definitely was having some symptoms when she was in her late 30s, early 40s, and she was throwing shoes at us across the room and hitting us like, ow, when she was clocking out and she was done, like, I'm going out with my friends, I'm cool. She was cool on people. It's just something that happens. And I think that we all have went through these things but didn't have something to call it. We didn't know what to call it.
Again, I think over generations, maybe this is some of the things that women didn't talk about. There's
Oh,
unspoken
they
to
didn't
talk about.
know.
Right.
The information wasn't out there. The data wasn't out there. I've heard a lot of doctors in my research say that it was like a 1-day course on menopause. And 85% of the population of women are in one version of menopause, whether it's perimenopause, menopause, or postmenopause. 40% of a woman's life, she is going to be in one of those stages of
Wow.
menopause. That's how important it is. That's how long it is. 40% of your life, that's a long, a part of that, you a child. Part of that, you're a teenager and a child. So for most of your adult life, you'll be going through some form of menopause, whether it's perimenopause, menopause, or actual
Post. Yep.
menopause. Menopause is actually when your cycle has been over for over a year. So, I mean, these are the things. And some women go through it not even knowing that they go through it because it's been induced medically. So it's a lot of different things, and this is just the beginning of the conversation, right? I want people to take away, go talk to your physician. If you're a woman and you're over the age of 35, know your estrogen levels, know where you at. Also know the estrogen levels, they go up and down
Up
with
and
the,
down. Yep.
and also depending on what time of the day it is, what you've ate that day, what time of the month it is, whether it's your cycle or you're just getting off, all of that can vary. But if you're having more than one of these symptoms, it's worth having the conversation with your doctor about it so that you can go back and ask these questions. We just want the conversation to be had. And maybe if more women go request this type of thing, it will be covered under your insurance. They will start paying more attention to it. So this is our hope for us.
That's cool.
Your takeaway.
I love that. I love that. I love that. You definitely needed to give yourself a hand clap for that one, Juicy, because that was good. I love that. I love that. And I think the part that I love the most is us asking for help, right? It's nothing to be embarrassed about because us suffering in silence is crazy. We no longer can afford to do that because the more we suffer in silence, we are continuously giving no voice to another sister, to our daughters, to our nieces, to other women who are maturing through this, right? It's nothing to be embarrassed about, but what we're not going to act like it's not happening, right? Too many times I've seen, even in the Black church, women going through a full-fledged hot flash and they'll say that it's the Holy Spirit. Listen, maybe it was. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna knock it. Maybe it was. Maybe it was a damn hot flash. Okay. So I just want us to be mindful. And the more we really talk about it, educate one another in regards to it, we definitely can save marriages, definitely can save relationships. Because the reality is, like I've said, and I talked to Juicy offline about that, is I know for sure I would not have broken up my previous relationship. There is no way in hell I would have done that. I didn't know what I didn't know, Hardy. So the only thing that made sense was say, sir, you the one going through mail. You're going through something. This is why you're doing this. And it's like, nah, but at the same time, though, cutie pie, you're going through something too. So this is why we have to have these type of conversations, reminding one another, each one teach one, share your experience. It's going to look a little different one to another, and that's okay too, right? But it is sharing those different things. Us talking about the magnesium on your feet so you can rest well. It is talking about drinking more water. It's talking about the hormone replacement. It's talking about in other countries like England, Juicy, they take hormone replacement. In America, Hardy, it's like, no, that'll give you cancer. No, it's not. What's going to happen is when we don't have hormone replacement, the brain is shriveling. She's crazier. We're crazier. We're messing up our families. We get on the internet. We have all this divisiveness, and it's because of the hormones. And then they pumping all this other. But that's a whole nother podcast.
All the preservatives, all other stuff in our food too that they don't do in other countries. And I was so shocked when I was doing my research. You're absolutely right, and I'm glad you mentioned that that in other countries, like in European countries, they've been taking hormones for years. This is not even as big of an issue for them because they are already aware of. They've already been addressing the issue.
Yep. Yep. And that's what the lady, she was in her 70s now. And she said she didn't go through it. It's not because she was acting like our parents and our big mom. She was just like, I didn't know y'all was being made to suffer. She said, when I came back from England, I came back here and I realized the doctor wasn't going to give me my HRT, which is hormone replacement therapy, ladies. Hormone replacement therapy. So she sent off to her girlfriends in England and she had them start mailing her stuff. She was like, you do not have to suffer like that. And so when she said that to me with confidence, and she just seemed poised in her 70s, like she gracefully, she ain't have to shoot nobody out the sky, nothing. And she happy, still getting her hair done, Hardy. I said, you know what? You know what? I'm gonna be all right, y'all. So that's why we really are having this talk and just sharing it with you all. Because literally, if you really do see a change in your lady, it's not you, right? And it don't mean blame her. It's back to Hardy's point. Let's be patient. Find a way to be compassionate. Ask the question, like Juicy said. Encourage her. Maybe let's see about hormones. Even if you say I'm gonna do mine too. Because heck, we both getting older. Let's check it out. Let's both go to the gym, baby. And then as we're going through these different things, people are able to open up about it. Because the reality is, y'all, this crap is scary for all of us. They didn't leave us a manual. I feel more adequate with being pregnant and knowing how to go through the stages of pregnancy than I do feel comfortable with this stage of my life. Why? Because it's a bunch of books on how to have a baby, a healthy baby. Is no books on how to be able to go through this stage of being a woman. So I pray that this was a blessing to each and every one of you. I appreciate you both for allowing me on the show to be
Thank you for being here
and sharing it all. So thank you all.
All right. Thank you so much. And we appreciate you. This was a great show. Thank you for your transparency. And we appreciate you. Thanks, Chaz. Bye. All right. So this was a great show. I really appreciate it. Thank you for everybody that was in the chat. Again, if you are a woman, if you have not liked or subscribed to Juicy Talk, please, please, please go like and subscribe. Thank you to all our special guests. We appreciate you so much. I thank each and every one of you for staying with us for as long as you did. We greatly appreciate you. If you are coming to the chat late and you're just getting, in and we're getting ready to sign off, please go back, listen to the chat, share it with a friend because this was very informative. And I think it's going to help a lot of women. Next week's show. So we're going to talk about prioritizing exercise. Prioritizing exercise. Exercise is so important for our physical well-being, but it has so many other different factors as well. Again, if you are just joining on to Juicy Talk and this is your first time, please go like and subscribe, hit the notification button, but also know that we are on a 4-part series this season. And what we're talking about, our theme for this season, that was a lot. The theme for this season is well-being, making sure that we are our complete and total self. And so during this first part of well-being, we're talking about physical well-being. So again, finding time to prioritize exercise. We're going to talk about it, and it's going to be an amazing show. I can't wait till next week. We have so much in store. Again, thank you. I'm glad you are not crazy. Women, you are not crazy. You just need to get your estrogen levels checked, and you might need to experience hormone replacement therapy or HRT. Do the research. If you get the opportunity, there's a lot of wonderful other podcasts that are out talking about menopause. If you don't, I'm gonna promote. I don't really promote a lot of things on my show, but there is another podcast called The Diary of a CEO, and he has a lot of different guests. People come on and talk. Doctors come on and talk about menopause. this is one of the things that opened up my mind about this whole topic and subject. Go check it out. Go look at it. Go watch it. Again, Diary of a CEO. And just put that in there, Diary of a CEO, and just put it in the search engine, find it, and you could put menopause and you'll get all of the shows on it. It was very important. Thank you again to my special guest, Chasity A. Wells. Go follow her on all social media platforms. We greatly appreciate you. Thank you so much. And I thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
My
That was a
partner
great
in
show.
crime.
Nothing's gonna show.
We see you, Hardy. Thank you for being here, holding it down for
I
the
know,
men,
right?
and supporting us, ladies, and all our craziness. No, I'm
It's
just-
not crazy.
but we ain't
No,
crazy.
not crazy.
But
no.
thank you for your support. We
you.
appreciate you. So, at the end of the day, C-Town down.
All
It's,
right.
it's time to go.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for tuning in. Love each and every one of y'all.
Good night, ladies.
Peace. So next time, see you next week.